Hey guys, well, welcome back to Allison Customs Project Car TV. As you can tell, I'm not in the shop. I'm actually sitting in a hotel room in Pittsburgh on my regular job, and we hit our 1,000 subscriber mark. Actually, almost 9 days ago, I guess today. So I've been out on the road almost the whole time. I've had a couple days at home, and pretty much during that whole time, all I was doing was running errands to get. The car is already at the upholsterer, so I was running errands to get all the parts for him to be able to keep working. So today's just a kind of a quick update, a thank you for the 1,000 subscribers. For those of you who watched the parts washer video and made it all the way to the end, because I know some of that stuff gets boring and you're like, hey, you're just putting something together, big deal. But if you made it all the way to the end, then you also found out that we were going to do a little giveaway about for the 1,000 subscriber, and the way we did it was, or the way I did it was that if you made a comment on the power washer video before we got to the 1,000 subscriber mark, then all those names were going to go into a hat. Essentially, I was going to draw a name, and somebody was going to win a prize. And then I kind of still wanted to do something for the 1,000th subscriber, and pretty much only 6 people commented. So I'm gonna flash their names up, their screen names up on the screen here. Jesse Simpson, which will be the first, actually it'll be the last name on the list, because I'll put them in the order that they commented, and then Jesse Simpson is the 1,000th subscriber. So because there were only 6 of you, and Jesse Simpson makes number 7, I'm just going to send all of you a T-shirt and a sticker and say thank you to everybody who got me to 1,000 subscribers. So for the 7 of you that won, Mark Farmer, 265 Chevy, Austrian Anarchy, GB Fan MD, Chris Mansker, Adam Pathel, sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of these, and Jesse Simpson, if all of you will send me your mailing address to my email address, Jeffery at AllisonCustomsOnline.com, and I'm asking you to send it there rather than sending it to or putting it in the comments, because I don't want you to put your private information in that public location. So just send me an email and tell me what size shirt you need. Medium, large, extra large. If we need something different than that, it may take me a little longer because I'll have to wait till the next time I order shirts. But if it's one of those, I can get that out probably right away. And thank you guys, all of you, for commenting and for being number 1,000, Jesse. This was never my goal. I was just kind of having fun with the idea of throwing up videos of stuff I was doing to see if anybody found it interesting as well. And obviously, some people do, and I know not every video is fabricating stuff or doing whatever. And for the last over a year, I've been very highly concentrated on the Chevelle. I'm sure I've mentioned it, but this car is going to SEMA, and it'll be there this year for 2018. Ron Francis Wiring is the kind of the only sponsor, if you will, in that they've provided all the wiring. Other people have given us some decent discounts, and I will be putting their names up. And I kind of plan to do a video when the whole car is done and running, and we can do a burnout or something. I kind of plan to do another video that's like a montage of all of the videos of that car put together, and then list everybody's name that got involved and worked on the car, and especially anybody who gave us discounts or gave us parts. So that said, thank you for the 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for continuing to watch, and let's see. From here on, I'm going to do a little bit question and answer stuff, and I get a lot of questions about the best way to rebuild your Chevelle or your Mustang as far as the sheet metal. And what I can tell you is you have to brace the heck out of it, especially when you're doing floors or quarter panels and stuff, because everything wants to move, and it's very important that you keep everything as rigid as possible. Now, if you go back and look at some of the videos where I was doing the floors and other parts of the car, and I had it up on what I call my substitute frame, which is a couple of 4x4 quarter-inch wall square pieces of tubing that have all the rails coming up off of it and hooked to the bottom of the car. And if I can find a photo, I'll post that here too. If you do stuff like that, it's great. It works. But I have probably $800 just in that substitute frame. Now, it's completely adjustable. I can put pretty much any kind of car you can think of on it, with maybe the exception of a 70s Corvette where it's all one big long unibody. I'm not sure it's long enough to catch that, but it might be. Anyway, my point of all that is, if you don't have something like that, and most of us don't, put it on the stock frame and make sure before you ever start working on it that frame is square. If you're not sure if it's ever been in any kind of accident, if it's just you're working on a 50-year-old car, that frame has had enough abuse that it's probably got some twists in it. Take the frame to a frame shop. Let them straighten it up for you. Start with that base that is square and straight, and buy new body bushings, then set your body on it, then begin working. Until you do that, you don't have a good starting place. And if you're starting with a car that has been in a serious accident, like the whole back end is crushed, you're still gonna have to do the frame first, but now it's gonna even be more critical because you have less of the original car to give you the framework to build from. So that's my suggestion. Brace the heck out of it. Start with the best foundation you can get, whether it's a frame jig, if you will, or if it's the factory frame that you've straightened up, or if you're going to buy an aftermarket frame, make sure it's straight. It should be when it comes to you, but check it, measure it, make sure everything's straight. Once you know that's straight, then set your body on it. Then check your gaps on your doors or your rocker panels, and get those things as good as you can get them before you take anything apart. Because if you do rocker panels, the doors have to be on there so you can put the rocker panel back on level with the bottom of the doors. And if you didn't check the doors to begin with, then you don't know if you have something good to start, to finish with. Same if you've got to take the whole quarter panel off, you're going to need the door on there so you can set the gap where the back of the door and the front of the quarter panel come together, and you need to be able to set that gap. And you can do some adjusting in the quarter panel, especially if you still have good rocker panels or something else and you've got the door set to those. So those are my suggestions for that. Let's see, I get a bazillion questions about what wheels are on the Chevelle, and those are Bose, I believe it's set Boze, and I'll flash it up here. The front ones are clutch. They're 19 by 9 inches wide, and the rears are clutch concaves, and they are 20 inch by 12 inches wide. We're running 335 wide tires on the back, and the fronts I believe are 285s. I keep getting asked about offsets and backspacing, and basically I'm just not going to tell you, mostly because this car has an Art Morrison frame. It has a narrowed 9-inch rear axle, and we've done enough custom work to the quarter panels to move things around that if you went and bought that set of wheels or a set of wheels with that backspacing, they are almost absolutely not going to fit your car. So I don't want to throw you off, and even if you had the same combination of stuff that we were running, they probably still wouldn't fit because of all the modifications we've made everywhere else. Even like the front tires, Art Morrison doesn't recommend that you run as big a tire as we are. So there's one video in there somewhere where I was moving some stuff around on that, very expensive frame. We were cutting and moving stuff around to make room for these tires. So that's my reason for not giving you that information. Let's see, the hood on the Mustang that I started forever ago. It is in exactly the same condition. It's been moved to the new shop, and it's in exactly the same condition as it was at the end of that last video. It is still just pieced together with about a zillion Clecos, and yes, I will get to it. Yes, I'll get it done someday, but it's going to be someday. Let's see, another big one that I get is, how's the shop? The shop is awesome. It's a giant shed, though. I've been building it for cash, and currently I am just out of cash. So there are 2 bays that are still dirt, and they will probably be dirt for at least the near future. Additionally, there's only power on the one wall where the power actually comes in, which would be, for me, would be my south wall. There's only power on that wall, and I have a couple outlets, power to my air compressor, and then I have a one light in there, and that was enough to meet the minimum for the electrical code. We'll still eventually add on to all that, and I actually still have the electrical permit open, but it's going to be a while. The north end of the building, where my closed off area is going to be for putting my table saw and some of my, a lot of my bigger metal tools, that area I started building a couple walls, and I was just using the wood that was left over after we pulled forms and stuff like that, and it stopped because I'm out of material, and honestly I'm out of time. I don't have the time to build that the way I want it. Even if I had the extra cash right now, I don't have the money to do it the time to do it, because I'm putting it on the Chevelle. The Chevelle has to be, it was supposed to be ready this month for the owner to pick up, and it's not ready. It's not going to be ready for another at least 60 days, and probably more like 90, which means we're going to be running right up to the edge of getting it ready and putting a few miles on it before SEMA. So that's where that's at as far as the shop. As far as space and all that, I love it. It's got plenty of room, and if I ever get all my other stuff done, that shop's going to be cool. So hopefully, probably really into this winter after SEMA, after I've delivered the Chevelle, I'll get some time and some money gathered back up and get some work done on the shop. Let's see, other projects that have been sitting around, of course, is the Mustang. That's going to be the Mustang that I started there. I was building the hood for, that's got the independent rear suspension and the EcoBoost V6. When the Chevelle's gone, that's a project that's coming up. I still have that rock crawler Jeep. The owner is completely out of town, hasn't had time to look at it, and I haven't had time to mess with it, and we've kind of agreed that we'll mess with it after SEMA. I think it has a vacuum leak, and then that's causing it to where I can't get it to idle so that I can get it tuned. So it just needs some time on it. In the meantime, there's a 70 GMC pickup sitting in the shop that is really cool, patina, and it's been clear coated, and they did an LS swap, and I built them a harness a year ago for it, and in the process of them installing it, we had some issues, and now every time I spend time on it, it just frustrates me because I cannot find the problem. So I've literally got the harness torn all the way down to bare wires, and I'm pulling one wire out at a time and checking everything to the point where I'm almost ready just to give up, start all over and build a new harness from scratch and do it that way. I think it may end up being quicker. So that project is eating up what little time I do have. Other things, my forklift is 2/3 of the way back together. The engine's back in it. I haven't tried to start it yet. What else? That's really it. The engine's back in the forklift. I still need to get a couple seals so I can put the wheels on and seal up the axles where they were leaking, and then I'm going to paint it. And I bought a new seat for it, and put the gauges together for that little video. So all of that's kind of ready, and I just, again, that has to take a back seat to everything, because when I do have time to work out there, I got to accomplish some stuff that's gonna keep some customers happy. What else? My son blew up the engine in his Jeep Grand Cherokee. Oh, I don't know. It's been months and months and months. In the meantime, we found another one that had a decent, well-used engine in it, and we've been in the process of swapping that engine over. And he gets like Tuesdays off, and so we've been working about every other Tuesday when I can be there and he can be there. And so that car is almost done and back together and on its way out. But another one that's just, time sucking. So, guys, I think that's about it. I'll put some notes in there for the wheels, and I'm sure there's other questions that I'm forgetting, but that's what I've got. Thank you all for the 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all for watching all these videos. We'll hope to see you again real soon.
Thanks for watching Allison Customs Project Car TV. Like us on Facebook and check us out at AllisonCustomsOnline.com.